everybody, this is Tim Mai, and I have Chuy Terrazas here with me as well as Isabella, that's Chuy's daughter, and our friend Thad. We are doing some driving for dollars right now. I'm going to interview Chuy today on how he got started in apartment investing.
Actually closed 5 apartment complexes in the span of 60 days.
And we're in a neighborhood that Chuy owns 5 apartment buildings in this neighborhood.
River Oaks.
River Oaks. No. Yeah. Chuy has been a real estate investor for a long time, a very, very successful one. And Chuy has done all kinds of deals, from the little single family homes to packages of single family homes to apartment buildings to warehouses to even own a church and a reception hall.
And we're pulling up here to one that I bought a few years ago. It was purchased as a foreclosure. And what's actually fascinating is it already had fairly new shingles. There was very little needed cosmetically, and it was just poorly managed, and the bank had to take it over because people couldn't make the payments.
Talking about the different ways to find deals. Only you share with me, a really cool way, and I think it's probably like one of the best ways to find deals is through banks. Could you share that?
Yeah. So this was at a time when there was a lot of bankers trying to get rid of their REOs. So a lot of my deals have been REOs, which stands for real estate owned properties, right? So when a bank forecloses on a place, it forecloses on Mr. Smith, it's no longer Mr. Smith's house, it's now Mr. Banker's house. So he owns that, and they do not want that. They do not want to own property. It makes them really look bad on their numbers. So all bankers are really motivated to get the REOs off the books. So when I got started, I used to go and talk to bankers and ask them, hey, do you have any REOs? And a few of them would say, yeah, go take a look at this property. So I just was doing it casually.
We're here at the 5th property that Chuy bought all in 60 days. And Chuy, can you share a little bit about this property?
Then I learned a really, really great point, and I'm going to share this tip with you guys. A lot of folks don't realize before a property is foreclosed on, Mr. Banker really rather already know who's going to buy it. Mm-hmm. So, I used to think the guy's in default, place gets foreclosed, now the property gets put up to be marketed. Well, that's done with a lot of folks, but I started meeting bankers that would say, hey Chuy, I got a guy who's really behind on his payments. Go take a look. If you like that property, we'll go ahead and foreclose and let you be the owner and take it on. And a lot of times they're willing to just have you work with the existing loan that's there. They just want their loan to get serviced again. So that opened my eyes to a whole other arena that I didn't even know was there. And once again, it's problem solving. You're walking in telling this banker you got problems on your hands, or problems that you foresee with somebody that you might need to foreclose on. And if it's an apartment complex, or if it's a warehouse, or whatever your criteria is, you let them know what you'd like to buy. And then they say, well, I don't have one right now, but next time I get one, I'm going to think of you and call you. And sometimes they'll say, yeah, here's my list of them. Go for it. Go take a look and let me know. Yeah, so when I got the phone call about this foreclosure, where we had just closed on the other 4, and then the banker said, you need to go check this thing out because it's something they need to get rid of right away.
Okay, so you talk about this stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah. So this property has this amazing stone, which, of course, compared to a property made out of wood that could be rotting away, I thought this was really, really a valuable asset to this place. So we grabbed it. Fortunately, it was priced about half of what it should have been because, like we always talk about, the bankers don't want to hold on to properties. They don't want to have properties on their books.
Why is that powerful? You're finding out about it before it's ever listed with anybody. So one of the ways is with realtors, which is great, but you're now chasing a deal that everyone else knows. This other one, it's really nice to be able to find out about something like that.
Chuy, Can you start out with just sharing with everybody a little bit about yourself, how you get started in real estate investing?
Sure. It's always amazing when I think back to when I got started. I literally just started with a $22,000 house. That's the first property I ever bought, and I moved into it and was rehabbing it while I was living in it, which is, if any of y'all ever done that, it's terrible. Like experience trying to live in a place that you're rehabbing. But
good thing you were single at that time.
I was single at the time.
Because that totally wouldn't work.
Maybe that was why I was single. But now, you know what's amazing is at that point that deal scared me because it was something I had never done. It's amazing. It doesn't matter how many years you've been doing things. Whenever you're doing something you've never done, it's going to have that butterfly in the stomach feeling. And so I made a huge leap from a $22,000 house to I upgraded to a $60,000 house.
Nice.
And that was a little nicer and didn't have as much rehab. And hey, you were right. That's when I did get a girlfriend at that point. I was out of that construction zone. But then I really decided at that point that I was going to be buying a house a year because I had done those two. First year, second year, about $60,000. I thought, yeah, well, let's keep going. And third, fourth, fifth, and I was young, so I figured by the time I'm 50, I have about 30 houses after me. And what's amazing is at that time, I can have 30 houses. It really sounded like a dream. But I thought, well, what the heck, shoot for 30. And yeah, if you end up halfway there, 15, that's better than not having shot for it all, right? So I just got started with that mindset of looking for another deal. And so I started looking around and I found a duplex that I really loved. And I wasn't looking for a duplex actually, I was looking for another house. And this really wonderful realtor told me about this deal. And she said, you know, it's amazing. You can live downstairs and get the rent from the other people upstairs. And I said, no, I'm going to live upstairs so I don't have to hear from people. And then I get rent downstairs. And so we did the deal, and I thought, wow, okay. I just did 2 units, and it's the beginning of the year, and I was just shooting for 1 this year. And it was about February. It's February. We've done 2 units. I'm on track to do 1 a month, and I found 1 next month. And would you believe it? It's so powerful when you set your mind on something. It's crazy. That year I did 12 units, and then it scared me. It scared the heck out of me. Oh my gosh, like our words are powerful, right? And I've learned it's a lot about intention. If you set your mind on something, yeah, just go for it. So I like sharing that because people see that I've done. You know, I went from the $22,000 house to $60,000 house to under $20,000 duplex, and then I found an 8 unit, and that scared the heck out of me. And that was really my first big deal, you know. And at that age, that was a big deal to me.
Yeah. How old were you?
I was about 22, a couple years out of college. Yeah, probably 22 because I did the first house when I was, let's say yeah. So I was in my early 20s.
Okay, like, even that is still scary for me today, right? And I'm not in my 20s. but you know, I want to bring attention to that because a lot of people have fear to move from a single house into, you know, multiple units like that, right? And so this is a great transition, and I'm sure a lot of people who are watching this video are in that same boat where it's like they have thought about multifamily and apartments, and they thought about, you know, the kind of cash flow that it can make, but have been very scared to like take that step. And even if it's just an 8 unit or a 20 unit, but it's like that's a huge step from a 1 unit, right? A single house.
Yeah.
And so can you share with us, like, you know, what were some of the fears that were going through your mind, and like, where did you get the courage to? It's like, you know what, I'm doing. Like, I'm gonna give this a try.
Well, that's a great question. First of all, I want to share that fear doesn't go away. You know, if you guys are out there without fear, you're probably just doing the same thing over and over again. That's like the fear goes away when you know exactly what to do. That's predictable. But I always told myself that's not the kind of life I want to live. I don't want a predictable life. It would be easier, but I'm always looking for things that I've never done. So that always scares me. And so I started telling myself, well, just get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And so it's really a mindset that I chose. But how I overcame that first fear is a story I always love to share about my dad's phone call. I called and said, Dad, what the heck am I going to do? This guy's offering me 8 units and it scares the heck out of me. And he said, well, you run the numbers? He said, yeah. Well, what's the worst that can happen? So, big tip right there, ask yourself, if I totally bomb this, what is that going to do? What's the worst that can happen? So, for me, I thought, okay, the worst that can happen is everybody moves out at the same time, which is not probable, but that was my fear. Oh my gosh, everybody moves out at the same time. And my dad goes, okay, well, what if everyone moves out at the same time? Then what? Well, then I'm not going to have the money for the rehab. I'm not going to go through the bank readies. If I don't have bank readies done, I can't have people move in. If I don't have more people move in, then I can't make the mortgage payments. And if I don't make the mortgage payments, I'm going to have it foreclosed on me. And then I'm all the way back where I started without my down payment that I lost. That was my biggest fear. And so, I don't know if any of y'all have ever had this kind of thoughts, but it was kind of crazy. It was crazy. I don't know how probable that is, but it happens to some people. So, yeah, I just want you to know that was I had a lot of stuff running through my head, so a lot of y'all may. But my dad said, okay, well, go for it. I'd rather you fall down and pursue your dreams. I'd be prouder of you, son, going for it, following the pursuit of your dreams, than not going for it and dying with the shivers. So that keeps me going a lot. I tell myself, you're going to do this and fall down, or you're just going to have to work and shit about this. And so it keeps me going to this day, however many years later it's been. But what was really another big part about the conversation is, I said, you know what though, if everything goes wrong, you're not back where you started. You're actually quite in a better place because now you have all that wisdom required of what worked, what didn't work, what are you going to do differently this time. So it was that we wouldn't have gotten had you not done that deal. So I think one thing that's really helpful to you guys is to know that everybody's battling at some level with what you're battling with. So it's okay. It's okay. You know, when you think like, what's wrong with me? Why do I want to do these deals and I just can't get myself over this fear? Don't try to get yourself over it. Just go.
Nice, I like that.
So here's another property that we want to share with you about. Chuy doesn't actually own this property, but there's a story behind it.
A friend of mine bought it.
Oh, okay.
And I want to tell you what was really, really powerful about it is I used to run a lot. He was a running buddy. And one day he came up to me and said, Chuy, you know what? I've been watching what you do, and I would say that I really want to buy an apartment complex and get into multifamily. And so I finally bought my first rental property. And I said, all right, well, way to go. Actually, he didn't tell me he wanted to buy an apartment complex. He said he wanted to start buying rental properties. And I said, oh, okay, that's wonderful. Well, one day he comes up to me and says, I finally got my first deal. I said, all right, great, what'd you buy? He said, I bought a 23-unit apartment complex. I'm like, for your first rental property? That's awesome, that's amazing. And, you know, it was so beautiful to see him step like right into the 23-unit apartment complex because so many of us think, you know, gotta start with a little house and then another little house. And wherever you are, there's no right or wrong way, but it's amazing what's possible. You know, anything's possible. And he had the training and the confidence to look at the deal and say, I can do this, and he went for it. So I'm always inspired when I think about him starting on his first deal.
That's awesome. And so we're gonna wrap up this interview now. You know, and I wanna end with, if you could share with everyone, just sort of, you know, help people to get over the fear of getting started in apartment investing. And yeah, and so like what do you want to do that would have them like, man, I can so do this deal. Let me get on this, and let me watch more videos from Chuy, and also too, it's like, just want to get to you guys, right? Our team here at Prosperity and Chuy are gonna be doing an advanced deal pretty soon. We'll share more with you at later videos, but yeah, like share with them like, what tip would that be, or what insight, or that would have them all fired up and like feel ready to buy the apartment building.
All right. So here's what comes to my mind when you ask that question. Sometimes we're looking at such a huge task, and we want to have it all mapped out. And the way I think about it is, I'm from El Paso, Texas, so I drive home about 12 hours from Houston sometimes. And imagine if I had the fear of not starting till I could see till I got there. Exactly what's going to happen. Well, of course you can't see from here to El Paso. You can only see as far as you can see. And so you take action as far as you can see. And then when you get there, remember, when you get from A to B to C, I think of it as green lights. I got the next green light. Okay, then I'm going to hit a red light. Okay, I got to stop here. What am I going to do with this red light? You don't know. You reach out to resources. They've already done the deal. And so they go from deal to deal, from step to step, like C, D. As you're progressing, what you see when you're at point C is different than what you see when you're at point A.
Right.
So you're trying to see this whole, it's kind of like what's in the valley, but you're trying to see what's in the valley from a place that you can't see. So as you move up the ladder a bit, and you look down, you have a new perspective on things. So you're no longer the same person you were before you did your first deal. So once you get that first deal, who you are right now may not be able to see doing what's next. But the good news is, after you do your first deal, you're no longer going to be who you are now. You're not going to be who you are now anymore. You're going to be this person with all this wisdom and all these experiences that are going to look at things differently. And it might be, here's the other thing that's really, really, I think probably the neatest thing I can tell you is, after you've done a deal, it might be that what you were shooting at before isn't even what you want anymore. You may realize, oh, now that I'm here, actually, I have this other thing I really see. Great. So just have faith that you're going to be a different person after you do each deal. That's always good.
That's good. Yeah. So yeah, like just baby step, like one step at a time. Right? And the good news is that Chuy and I are investors. We're always out here looking for deals to buy, and so. So part of this training too is to give you guys an opportunity to partner up with us on deals. If there's deals that are either too big for you or you don't know how to do it, and you want to quick sell it to us, we certainly can do that as well. And we'll share with you all, more about that at later videos. But with that, I want to thank you so much for watching. And Chuy, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom, sharing your experience with everyone.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks.